everyone! Today we're going to be doing another 3 looks 1 palette, and today we're going to be using the Goddess palette by Alter Ego. I will of course also do a review at the end of this video. If you haven't already seen what this palette looks like, this is basically it. So it is a dupe for the Natasha Denona Gold palette. Not really my cup of tea, like this color story, but I did get this sent to me by Alter Ego, and I've always been intrigued by the Natasha Denona palette, and I don't know, there was something about that color story that just made me want to get it, you know, but obviously I never did because it was Natasha Denona and it was $128. So I'm happy to have this still, and I'm happy to kind of try to play with this a little bit more, and you guys said you really wanted to see some more looks with this, so that's what we're going to do. So if you have not already seen my first impression, I will link that in the corner if you want to go check that out first. But let's get into look number 1 now. So I don't know what I want to do today. Yeah, that's basically me every time I sit down and do a look. So I'm just going to start by priming my eyes with my MAC paint pot in soft ochre, and then while I do that, I will kind of think about what to do and come up with something that isn't just going to be a very neutral look, so wish me luck. So I'm thinking what I want to do today is I want to do kind of a halo eye. So I'm first going to start off by taking Avalon, which is the darkest of the brown shades in this palette, and I think I'm going to go ahead and put this into my crease. Now you guys know I don't really like using transition shades, so we're just going to be going in with the darkest one and just using that shadow itself to blend out the shadow with. So that is what I'm going to do. So I will not be doing anything crazy here. I'm just going to start by packing this into my crease all the way from the outer corner to the inner corner. So I feel like some of the lines here maybe turned out a little bit harsh, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into a nude colored eyeshadow. There wasn't one of these in the palette, so I'm just going to take a little bit of this on a fluffy kind of tapered brush, and I'm going to go ahead and just run that right across where I blended this color to just help blend this downwards a little bit. Alright, so I think I'm pretty happy with that. So next up what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go into Artemis, which is the green shimmer. Is it a green shimmer? It's a teal shimmer. The teal shimmer. So I'm going to use this dark teal shimmer. I am going to go ahead and spray this because this is very glittery and it does have some fallout. And I'm going to use this to create the halo part with. So I'm going to place this on the outer corner of my eye as well as the inner corner. And then in the middle I'm probably going to go in with one of the gold shadows, or possibly like the kind of goldy duochrome, like the very light one. I haven't yet decided, but I'm first just going to go ahead and build this up on the inner and outer corner of my eye. And this shadow is like by far my favorite shadow in this palette. I think this is so beautiful. So basically that is all I'm going to do with that shadow. Now let's see, what do I want to use next? I feel like this one has such a beautiful shift. This one is really pretty too, and this one. Let me just swatch all of these 3 because it's definitely going to be between these 3. So let's see which one is the least like a topper. So I guess I'm gonna go in with the gold shadow, which I'm guessing was Valkyrie, the shadow right here. So I'm gonna take that on a bit of a small kind of flat brush, spray this as well, and just pop that right in the middle of my eye. And the shimmers on this palette are so good. I mean, don't get me wrong, I feel like the mattes have been pretty good so far too, but the shimmers are just so beautiful, especially up close. They have so many kind of glitter particles in it, and it's just, it's so light reflecting. Just kind of gently patting this into my crease as well. Also gonna go ahead and take a little bit more of that first matte shade and just kind of run this through my crease again. I feel like I lost a little bit of this. Alright, I like how this is looking. So I'm sure it's going to come as no surprise at all that I want to take the matte teal shade and just blow that out of my lower lash line because I need a little bit of color, you know, a little bit of extra color. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take that on a smudging brush, and I already know that I'm going to love the shadow because I loved it in my first impression. So I'm first going to just place it closest to my lower lash line, and then I'm going to switch to a fluffier brush and use that to blend this out with. Yeah, I like this a lot. So I'm gonna go ahead and put something in my inner corner, and for that I'm gonna use Freya because I love this shadow and I want to use it. And I'm just gonna pop that right in my inner corner. Not gonna blow it out too much, just keep it pretty focused. Oh, what a beautiful shadow. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of my eyes. I don't think I want to try to go any fancy with this today, so I'm just gonna use kind of a dark green in my waterline, like a teal dark green. And this is Vaseline by Colourpop, so I'm gonna pop that in there. I'm gonna do some liquid liner, mascara, put on a lipstick, and then I'll be back and show you the completed look, and that'll be it for look number 1. Alright, so here is look number 1 all complete. I'm feeling very glam today. I don't know if it's because of the shadows or the lipstick or a bit of a combination of both, but I kind of love it. So for my lipstick today, I used Ofra's Rendezvous, which I cannot stop using this with my hair color because it just matches perfectly and I love that. So as for today's look, I didn't really have any issues at all, except for that brown kind of being a bit darker on the eyes and hard to blend out when I first put it on than I expected. But I mean, it all turned out beautifully, and yeah, I mean, the shimmers in this palette are just, oh, they're so pretty. I can't stop staring at myself. So that's, I guess, all I wanted to say for look number 1. So let's just move into look number 2. Alright, it is time for the second look with this palette, which you obviously already know because you've seen the first one. So I think for today's look, I need to try out some more of these browns in here. This is not going to be the most exciting look in the world, but I am going to do kind of a brown smoky eye, but I do want to play around with a bit of dots in the end just to kind of spice it up a little bit. So I think what I'm going to do first is, I guess I have already used this shadow, so let me go in with this one as my transition shade, and then I'll probably use this shadow right here all over my lid. But let's start off taking Juno, and I'm just going to pretty heavily pack this into my crease now. And I'm also going to go ahead and blend this up pretty high, like you guys know I always like to do. I'm going to leave a bit of room in my inner corner though. I am going to have quite a bit of a blown out inner corner. That's going to be the plan. I want to put one of the kind of green and yellow shades in there and just really try to make this pop a little bit. I will say so far I'm having absolutely no issues with really any of these shadows. I feel like they're performing so well, which is why I haven't really like mentioned anything while I am working with these. At least I don't think I did in my first look. It's been a little while, but so far I've had a really easy time working with this palette, and that makes me really excited about the brand, because if they're going to come out with dupes to, you know, really expensive palettes, it's nice to have an alternative so that you don't have to buy the expensive palette if you really want it and you like the color story. So I'm excited to see what else they are going to come out with and what else they're going to be duping. I hope that they come out with a new palette soon, because when I talked to them, they said their plan was to come out with probably a new palette every month. So I feel like we're kind of coming up to the 1 month mark since they released this. So we'll see what happens. I think it's pretty exciting though. I hope they come out with something fun. It would be cool if they kind of duped the mini Huda palettes, maybe like the neon ones. I know those didn't get the best reviews, but a lot of people liked them. Some people didn't like them. But if they could come out with something with a good formula, I would probably buy them, if I'm being honest. Like, I feel like those would be a kind of fun thing to have dupes of. So I'm not hating on this brown shade. It's kind of like a camel color, but like a bit darker. I kind of like it. I don't think it's the most flattering on my eyes, so I know I keep saying that I don't like browns on my eyes, but the shadow right here isn't all that bad. I'm also going to take the same shadow and just run it down on my lower lash line, but only about halfway across. I'm going to leave the inner part of my lower lash line open. Then for the rest of my lid, like I said, I'm going to go into Aura. So this is like probably not a look that I would ever have done if it wasn't for this palette, but I hope you guys appreciate me doing a little bit more of a neutral look, even though it's not really my kind of thing. But sometimes it's fun to do something that I don't always do too, and like try to make it interesting and try to make it my kind of look still. So I'm just going to pack this basically all over my lid. So this is definitely more of like a satin shadow. It doesn't have a lot of sparkle or anything in it. It's just really shiny. And you guys know how I feel about satins. They're not really my favorite. I wouldn't say it's a satin. It's just kind of like a boring shimmer, if you will. I don't really know how else to explain it. It doesn't have much going on for it except for it being very shiny. And I'm also just gently kind of blending this into my crease a bit. And then for the inner corner, I'm gonna go into Valkyrie. Is that how you say it? Valkyrie? Valkyrie? And the shadow is quite crumbly, so definitely would recommend either using some kind of a glitter glue or spraying this, because otherwise I feel like there's a chance it's going to kind of flake off. So I'm just going to be placing this in my inner corner. Oh, the shadow is so beautiful. And I am going to kind of bring it up onto my lid as well and just blend it into everything that I have going on here. So this is all I'm going to do with shadows. It's obviously a little bit boring. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to take Crocodile Tears by Jeffree Star. This is one of his liquid lipsticks, and I'm going to go ahead and take this on my nail dotting tool and then start making some dots with this. So I bought some more of my nail dotting tool because I realized that the ones that I had was kind of more meant for like applying glitters, and it didn't have that ball on the tip. So these are the ones that I got now. I bought a set of, I think there were 5 of them on Amazon. I will link that down below if you want to check it out. But I'm going to take the one that has the biggest kind of ball on top here, and then I'm going to take a little bit of my Jeffree Star lipstick here, just right on top of that ball. And I think I'm going to go ahead and start doing some dots like in the inner part of my lower lash line here. I don't know how that is going to work out. Maybe I should do it on the outer part instead. I don't know. I'm going to just do it here because I can. And I thought I would go with green, kind of because green is like, you know, the pop in the palette, so I thought that would look kind of cool. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and do 3 dots. Oh no, that's smeared, that's not good. Okay, well, we're going to do another one anyway. Just have to like not get it into my crease because otherwise it doesn't look good, but it's okay. I'm going to wait for this to dry and then I'm going to clean it up a little bit after anyway. So I just need to make sure that these dots are lower down than where my fine lines are because I'm old and I have a lot of lines, so we have to just kind of work around them. Okay, so obviously that is not the best idea that I've ever had because now you can see like close to my lash line here that everything is looking very messy. So maybe I'll go ahead and just kind of fill in here and just kind of do stripes instead. I mean, this is going to turn into a mess, so we might as well just roll with it because sometimes your ideas don't work out and you have to improvise. So I guess we are working with stripes instead, but I guess that's fine. And I'm also going to go ahead and take the smaller side of this, which has a much smaller ball on it. And I'm going to go ahead and put 3 dots like just right underneath my brow here as well. Just very small dots. Just like so, to give it a little bit of an extra, you know, pop up there because we needed something to make this a bit more exciting. So I don't know if maybe I should have made those dots a bit bigger. I'm actually going to go ahead and make those dots a little bit bigger because they're not really showing. I can obviously see it up close, but looking in the mirror in front of me, I can't really see it. I'm just going to make these a little bit bigger here. Maybe I'll do the first one the biggest and then make them smaller as they go out. Like so maybe? Maybe? I don't know. Maybe that's kind of cool. I don't know. So should I use this as my liner as well? Would that be a little bit too much maybe? Nah, I'm just going to use a regular liner. So I'm going to put on some liner and mascara. I do want to do something in my waterline though. I'm thinking I just want to do yellow because I have the yellow in my inner corner. I can also do like a very bright green. That could be kind of cool. Maybe I'll use this neon green by LA Girl. I don't think I've used this one yet. So I'm going to pop this in. This is Gotcha. So I'm going to go ahead and put Gotcha in my waterline and then do some liner and mascara, and I will be right back to show you the finished look. So here is the final look. I actually kind of like it. I wasn't sure if I would. I do wish that the 3 stripes on the hair were dots, but hey, that happens, and I didn't expect that to happen, but it did happen, so here we are. And I also did decide to go with Crocodile Tears for my lipstick because I just thought, why not just tie it all together and make it a bit crazier? So that is going to be look number 2. Again, I thought the shadows performed beautifully, so let's move into look number 3 and see if I can come up with something that's maybe not so out there and so neutral. I don't know. We're gonna think of something and make it something fun, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I am back for another look, and I wasn't going to film this look today, but I don't know, I was just having fun filming today. So we're gonna go ahead and do this 3rd look and the final review as well with this palette. So what do I want to do now? I'm thinking I kind of want to play a little bit more with the greens. Wow, shocking, because I did one neutral look and now I'm like, I need color again. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna first dip into Athena, and I'm going to put this kind of mustardy color in my crease, and then I'm gonna deepen it up with Gaia. And then I don't know what exactly I want to do on my lid and stuff, but we'll kind of figure that out as we go. So I'm first going to go ahead and take Athena and just kind of use that as my transition shade. And these shadows actually layer so well that it's very easy to go from lightest to darkest, which, I mean, I guess it's my preferred way to do it. It's just a little bit easier that way, but most of the shadows that I am used to working with just don't perform as good when you go in with the lightest shade first. But I find that these are definitely great shadows to be layering with if you like layering. I'm going to go ahead and pull this up pretty high because I am going to go in with that dark green, and I also want the dark green to be up pretty high, so I just want a little bit of this mustardy yellow to show above the green once I do put down the green. So I'm thinking maybe I want to do like a neutral lower lash line for once in my life. I don't know if I've ever actually done that. So like I said, I'm going to go into Gaia now, which is the green shadow. And I'm just going to take that on the same brush, and I'm just going to start by first packing it in the outer corner. And then once I got this shadow down, I'm going to start working it into my crease all the way across. Just using small circular motions here. I mean, these shadows just perform so beautifully. I don't even know what else to say, honestly. This is one of the best formulas I think I have worked with in a very long time. And for my lower lash line, I'm just going to go ahead and take Avalon, I think, and just really smoke this out. I don't think I want to use any other shadows other than this one, so I'm just going to be pretty heavy-handed with this. Just like so, and then I'm gonna go into some shimmers. I do think I want to use the green shimmer because it's just so beautiful. So I'm basically just gonna pack that on top of the outer corner where I have that blue. Not to cover anything up, but just because I just like this color so much. So I'm gonna dip into this, which is called Artemis. I feel like I should know that by now, but I don't. Like I said, just going to be kind of layering this above the shadow that I have in my outer corner. And I do think this is definitely more of a topper shade. It doesn't have like that much of a base pigment to it, so it is going to perform a little bit better layered on top of one of the greens, or one of the greens, the green. You could also layer this on top of the brown if you were to do like a smoky eye, and that would probably look really beautiful. I love this shadow. I'm then going to go into, which one have I not used yet? I don't think I've used, that's so weird. That looks so different on my finger. I'm gonna take, ooh, this is so tough. I feel like I have so many options, but they're all like so similar at the same time. What do I want to do? Maybe I'll go into this one, and then I'll do this in the inner corner, but this is kind of like a topper, am I right? Yeah, this is definitely more of a topper. I would have to do a cut crease if I wanted to use that. So I think I'm first gonna go into Venus possibly, and then I'm so confused right now. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the shadow right here, which is called Luna. I definitely don't think I've used that. It doesn't look like I have. So I'm actually gonna take that on the rest of my lid, and then I'm gonna go ahead and kind of layer that duochrome shade on top of this, just to see how that works. So I'm just gonna be placing this in the inner part of my lid. Being like super precise, but I'm not going to be blending this into my crease per se, but it doesn't have to look like a cut crease or anything like that. I'm also going to take a little bit of this just on my lower lash line here as well. And then, like I said, I'm gonna go into, which shadow was it that I wanted to use? I think I want to use this. So I'm gonna take a bit of this, I'm going to spray this as well, and then mainly just put it like in my inner corner, but also pull it up to my lid just a little bit. So I don't feel like this shadow is really doing all that much on top of this, but it could be because they're kind of similar shades. I feel like if I were to layer this maybe on top of the green, it would have a bit more of an impact, but it is definitely lightening up this a little bit, which is good because I do like my inner corner to be usually as light as possible. So I think this is actually going to be the look. I mean, that was so quick. I feel like all of these looks are just kind of breezing by. I'm going to take a little bit more of that green and just make sure the blend out here is looking nice. So, I mean, this is all I want to do with my shadows. I don't think I want to do anything fancy for my liners and stuff. I might pop some green in my waterline. Maybe I'll use Teaspoon by ColourPop. Thinking I might do that. Yeah, you'll see when I get back. I also am going to put on a lip product, so see you in a little bit. Here is the final look. I honestly really like this. I feel very pretty and very classy and just not like too out there, but still out there enough that I feel like myself, you know? For lips today, I used Top Shelf by Jeffree Star. This is one of his minis that I got in a set, so I really like this. So as for my thoughts on this palette, I'm sure you're all gonna already know what I'm going to say, but I think this is amazing. I don't really have any complaints with this. I think this is a great palette, especially for $16. Honestly, this formula, I would probably pay $50 for this. Maybe not for this size, but like if this was a bit of a bigger palette, I would easily pay 50 bucks for this. I think this is fantastic. Let me know if you want to see me do more reviews on the Alter Ego palettes when they do come out. I would definitely be interested in doing so if you guys want to see it, so let me know down below. I honestly really like this palette so much. If you were thinking about getting this, if you want to get this, you're going to love it. I mean, I fully give this my stamp of approval. I think this is great, honestly. I think this is so good. So yeah, if you want to see some more 3 looks 1 palette videos or reviews, I'll pop some up on the screen for you so you can go check those out. And if you're new to my channel, I would love it if you would consider subscribing, and I will see you in my next one.